Growing up in a small suburban town in Ohio, I had always admired my Uncle David. Not in a way that crossed any boundaries, but there was something about his presence that made my heart beat a little faster. He was charming, kind, and funny in a way that always drew people to him. At 16, I was starting to notice feelings I couldn't quite explain, a flutter in my chest whenever he smiled at me or laughed at one of my jokes. That weekend, my parents had invited David over for a family reunion. The house was buzzing with activity. My younger sister, Emily, was playing with her dolls in the living room, and my parents were busy in the kitchen. David arrived in the afternoon, carrying a small bag of gifts and his usual bright smile. As he hugged me, I felt a warmth spread through me, an unusual but pleasant sensation I didn't fully understand. After dinner, while everyone else moved to the living room to chat, David and I ended up on the porch. The sun was setting, painting the sky in soft shades of pink and orange. He handed me a cup of lemonade he had made himself, and we sat side by side on the old wooden swing. We talked about everything: school, music, dreams for the future. I felt comfortable with him in a way I never did with anyone else. His attention made me feel seen and understood, and for the first time, I realized that my feelings were more than just admiration. That night, after the house had gone quiet and everyone had gone to bed, I couldn't sleep. I found myself wandering back to the porch where David was quietly reading a book. The moonlight fell across his face, highlighting the gentle curve of his smile. We didn't speak at first. We simply sat there together, sharing a quiet, peaceful moment. It was innocent, yet my heart raced as if it recognized something new, something special. That night, I realized that sometimes love starts quietly, in the smallest gestures, a shared laugh, a look, a moment of understanding. Over the next few days, our bond grew stronger. We would go for walks in the park, laughing at silly jokes, sharing secrets, and discovering common interests. David had a way of making ordinary things magical. He never crossed any boundaries. He respected me, my space, and my family. But the connection we shared felt undeniably special, a sweet, innocent romance that made me feel both grown up and cherished. When it was time for him to leave, I felt a pang of sadness. But he left me with a promise that no matter the distance, our bond would remain. And even though I was only 16 and he was my uncle, the feelings I experienced that weekend taught me something important: that love can be tender, respectful, and profound, even in its quietest, most innocent forms. Years later, I still think back to that weekend in Dayton. I think about the warmth, the laughter, and the quiet moments that changed the way I understood connection and affection. And while my feelings were young and innocent, they left an imprint on my heart that I carry with me to this day.